Awesome. Man, screenshots are, oh, there we go. They're actually working. Sweet. All right, good morning, guys. Welcome in, welcome in. Getting the stream all set up here. Morning, Eddie. Rebo, how you doing? All right. I get all the streams set up. Morning, Rain. How you doing, Lonnie? What's going on? How you doing, Waldive? It stinks. Mm-hmm. Morning, Mark. Grandma 52, good morning. Not scared to blow up, so you didn't flip the apexes yesterday? No, I'm just going to trade them normally. I am starting the day down 25 for the first time in a very long time. I was down 100 last night and then flipped it to up 8. I got a little upset with this stop out because it was the right idea last night. And then I ended up trying to take a trade again. This is the one that ended up putting me red or back to negative 25 because I was in this and I was in the same trade on MES. So prevented myself from tilting, but even if I had, I probably would have just been back down to negative 100. So not too upset by that. The reason I'm not scared to blow these is I do have they're averaged at about 28,300, 28,280. So I have $700, $800 actually, until I get close to where it wouldn't be a max payout. But either way, I'm going to be able to take it tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow, right at close. Let me get the alert here in the Discord. We will be. Happy Tuesday, Lonnie. What's going on, Mike? Good morning. How you doing? I feel like I'm missing something on the... I'm missing that. Okay. We'll add that to the stage. There you go. Thought I was missing something there. Good stuff. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to maintain trading with the 1 MES today, probably. Well, it also depends on what we get for a range, but... Oh, I still can't. Let's see if I can put it in live streams. Sorry about the mouse tapping. We're almost done with the typing here, and then we'll get into the data reads for this morning. Morning, Alex. How you doing? Just wondering, has Apex ever gave you a reason why they have denied you earlier? Yeah, they did. It was because of the MAE rule. I got denied because I broke the MAE rule. I had a trade that was negative 600. It was a gold trade I left open while I went to the gym. Not intentional. Trade wasn't intentional. I just happened to forget about it. It's because it was one of those, and this has happened to me several times, so I'm surprised I didn't get it beforehand. Luckily, I don't do it as often anymore, but if you leave a sell limit order in for your take profit and then your stop order, and let's say I had longs at 25,368. If you forget on Trade-Evate to close one of these orders, depending on which one hits, if your stop loss or take profit hits, the other order, this one would stay in. So let's say my TP hit at 25.4. This one would stay in. The sell order would stay in until close. This is actually how I passed 19 out of the first 20 accounts I had because I left the order in. And the unfortunate part is I know you have the ATM, the automatic closing. If you turn this on, you cannot copy trade on your 20 accounts. Can't copy trade on any accounts. So you have to, I've gone with just setting stop losses, as I'm sure you guys have seen on stream. I'll catch up with all the questions we just got. I was just getting that alert out for the Discord there that we're live. All right, so jumping right into it today, we have pretty much no gap. We had no movement overnight, in all honesty. There was no movement. There was no shakeouts up or down. I mean, the most we got was maybe 50 points. Looks like the actual opening move was like 60 points, but still, for an Asia session recently, the fact that we stayed within the same range that we set from last night's high and low, even previous day's high, is pretty remarkable. Could you please tell me more about Apex counts and rules, static, full, buffer, benchmark, profit split, consistency score? I'm considering to purchase maybe 10 to 15, but still hesitating a bit. I wouldn't hesitate too much about it. It's pretty in line with what any other account is. The only thing that you have to worry about is for these accounts, for instance, I had 25Ks. Your max loss limit per trade, which is the MAE rule, that's why I got denied the payout. So long as you're below 1,500 for drawdown, now that I'm above 3,000, it's 50%. But if you're below 1,500, it's 30%, meaning that if you have a trade go more than $400 red on the 25Ks, for the 50Ks, I think it's $700. The 100Ks, it's like 900. And then all the way up to the 300Ks, I think it's, I want to say 2,800 is what your max loss is. If you breach that, then you'll get denied. All you have to do is trade another 8 days. It's not the end of the world if that happens, but it keeps you honest, especially with us trading micros. Everything else is pretty much the same as any other prop firm. It's possible to make OC orders, but it's clumsy. Unfortunately, you can't do it with copy trading rain. If I were to turn this ATM on and then put the copy trade settings on for this, so it automatically closes, it would only allow me to do it per one account. That's why people have the automatic trade copiers with the plans. Again, going over to Qs, not really too much that we have to talk about this morning. We're within previous day's range, so that's about the only thing that I would refer to. We go to, where's my line tool here? We should go up and break that level in SPY, 695.86. That should hit right into open. However, given that we do have a 0.09% gap right now on SPY, this gap fill chance is like almost a sure thing that's going to happen. It's only 1 out of 5 times, less than 1 out of 5 times. Like 2 out of 12 times, 1 out of 6. This won't happen, but we should very well today go and see both SPY and Qs take out previous day's high. But before that, we should see a move down, fill that gap, and then up. It is not SS, but I'll give you a little preview of it. I showed it yesterday in just a second. So this is what it will look like right here once I have it finalized and everything, but shows all the, and same thing will be for the IB, same thing will be for everything else. I'll probably send the IB portion of this over to edgeful as well. But that's what it will look like once it's done. Once it's on the, or uploaded anyway. You killed it Friday, by the way. Debut on new show and made killer trade. I loved it. Yeah, Friday was beautiful. Friday, we could not have asked for a better IB. I even took it on M and Q too. Entry was pretty much right at 50%, right at 602.20. And then I sold at 115 points on one M and Q. It was beautiful. If you hit exit on and cancel all at once, you're done trading for the day. Oh, Samuel, I spam that button. What I do is I click this exit at market and cancel probably 10 times before I'm done trading. And then I go up here and I click exit all positions and cancel all, make sure that I don't have anything open for that. And then I'll log in a few more times to just give a little reassurance. Make sure that it's not any open trades. I usually do that every time. Sometimes I get a little lazy, which isn't a good thing. Crushing it, Freedom Trader. Absolutely crushing it. Yeah, that's about it for today's price into open. We have 13 minutes to go, so we do have time to, we could definitely push up to previous day's high. We could definitely push lower into open. Either way, I'm going to be anticipating a move down to that gap fill, which is 614.30. And then I'm going to be looking for previous day's high. If previous day's high hits first, and then we go and get that gap fill, I'm going to be targeting down to Friday's high, previous week's high. I don't like that this is as sideways as it is. So we probably won't have too good of a setup until this breaks. So we need to see a break of 616.46, or we need to see a break of 611.40. Until then, we're kind of in a stalemate with, it should be a bull flag. It should be very similar to what happened Friday into Monday, but Monday we had to wait until 9:45 for that to break, really all the way until 10 with that data as well. And then the breaking candle was the 10:30 candle. Today will probably be the same thing. Do you ever trade magic hour 7 to 8 a.m.? Has about an 80% win rate and is very mechanical. No, because I'm still half asleep at that time. How's the how's the new camera quality, by the way, everyone? Tuning in on the stream, it should be a much better than it was. Same with the audio. With edgeful using IB by rejection, is it possible to see stats after a retrace to 50%, or is the 72% chance already from retraces that have retraced to 50% of the IB? For the IB by rejection, that is prior to the IB breaking. After the IB breaks, and I want to make sure this point gets across. After the IB breaks, all the stats that you have to play go significantly downhill. Significantly downhill. If you go to the initial balance breakout itself, this is the stat you should be playing. The reason being, this is a 98.5% chance of happening over the past 6 months. That's on ES. On SPY, Qs, it's 96. ES is 98.5. So 96% chance that the IB breaks every single day. After the IB breaks, and it depends on the time that breaks as well. After the IB breaks, you don't have nearly as many potential moves unless it's an FOMC day or you have some significant data that comes out after hours. If we customize this just to look at, I'll go to all days as opposed to just refining it down to 1 day. And this is obviously averaged out. If you go to each individual weekday, it's going to be a little different. Like Mondays have a better chance of continuing than other weekdays, but this is a rough measure of what you can expect. Only 1 out of 4 times the IB continues or price continues outside of the IB. And that's to these half standard deviations, 1 standard deviation, 1.5. After the IB is done, I'll bring up the indicator inputs. Really like that he showed me that yesterday. You can see that we usually, at best, we go to half standard deviation. So I don't use a retracement stat. I don't use the IB coming back to 50% after the IB breaks. I don't use any of that because if that does happen, if it retraces that far, it's usually going to have some kind of news associated with it, depending on the range as well. But for the most part, anytime we do have a continuation, price almost always stops at half standard deviation. If it goes anything past that, you're lucky. So no, I do not play the IB by rejection if it comes back into the IB. Make them 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 for continuations. I would, Mark, I genuinely don't use it. So it's not something that I would push. I don't enjoy staying in the market longer than I have to, especially for futures. Shares are a little bit different, but for futures, staying in the market longer than you have to, you're just proning yourself to more losses. There's no reason to stay in those positions. So if I wouldn't do it, I'm not going to say other people shouldn't either. For our London range this morning, our London low and London high formed pretty much right at 7. Our London high is lined up perfectly with previous day's high. London 50 is 615, just about 614.92. The only significant level that I'm going to be looking for down is 611.40. It does depend on what gap fill we get first, or what stat we get first. Do we get the gap fill by size first? Do we get previous day's high? If gap fill by size happens first, expect a bounce off London 50 and then up to previous day's high. If previous day's high gets taken first, I'd expect gap fill to get taken second, and then we'd probably go down to previous week's high, Friday's high. So I will not have any bias into open. No reason to, because we don't have enough information yet. So we'll just be sitting here waiting. Let's see. So we don't have any news. We don't have anything from Walter Bloomberg. We don't have any speakers. Let's see if we have any actual market data today. I know that we have, I think, 9:45 PMI market data this week. Oh, never mind. I was wrong. We have business inventories at 10. That's it. So another pretty much no news. I am 100% in on your trade. Ask Andre if there was a plan to make it part of the algos. The extensions are great for runners and also work great in Asia when the trends are cleaner usually. Yeah, last night was not. I had the right idea with longs. I just didn't have the right execution. These are all 1M and 1M ES, 1M and Q. So I lost 100 on the first one, made 85 back on this move, and then lost 14 and 17 on. This is what happens during chop, though. This is a great example, and I shut it down quick last night, thankfully. This is a great example of how you find yourself get into ruts during chop. If I had kept trading last night, I probably would have gone long like I did at 9:30. I would have been stopped out at easily been stopped out at 25, probably 280, 25, 300. That now puts me at a position where I'm negative 150, negative 200. Probably would have taken a short after that because we broke below 25.3. Didn't look like we were going to have a strong continuation. I would have targeted Friday's high, which would have been down to 25.220. And then you can see price reversed. I would have lost probably another 100 to 200 last night had I kept trading. So when price is going sideways like this, it's not directional. That's how you find yourself in those positions where you just continually lose over and over. And then it's $80 losses, $50 losses, $80 losses, $120 loss, $50 loss. Can you explain why you take the figures off options charts, not futures charts? So why trade off of QQQ and not MNQ, Rolo? Is that your question? So the reason that I take that, and we had a great example yesterday with Friday's high on SPY, it's a little tricky to see because these candles aren't that different. But look at the break that we had yesterday on the 15-minute for SPY. 5-minute might make it a little easier to see. Let's take a look. So Friday's high was 692.28 on SPY. You can see how these 5-minute candles, it's pretty much the body of the 1020 and 1025 candle where that line is. If we go over to MES and we mark out that same high, go down to the 5-minute time frame. Where's Friday's high? There we go. Horizontal line. Continue to drag this to the right. Do you see how this doesn't look anything like what the QQQ chart looks like on SPY? Remember, it was the body of that 1020 candle that made the low, bounced off that level. We go over to Trade-Evate. This candle is off by a whole 3 points, so 12 ticks. So that 3 points doesn't seem like much. That's $15 on one micro. That's $150 on one mini. That's enough for you to get invalidated out of a trade or potentially even miss your take profit. So the reason that I don't trade those levels on MNQ and MES is because there's slippage on those charts. If the slippage is present like it was yesterday, sometimes it's all the way up to 10 points. So that slippage causes you to miss executing on your trades. Like yesterday, if I had had my take profit set at that previous week's high, Friday's high, 69.65 is what I would have assessed it at on MES. On SPY, that level was probably, well, we just looked at it, was 3 points lower. So instead of being 69.65, it was 69.62. let's say price rejected at 69.64. I'm left in the trade. I missed my full TP by 1 point because of the slippage. It's not anything to do with the data. It's simply because the chart has slippage on it. So that's why I always use MNQ. I always use MES to trade on, and I always chart on QQQ. And I flip between these two charts. If I'm trading QQQ, I flip between that and MNQ, and I just take my take profit or get out of the position when this hits my take profit, not when MNQ does. So the slippage is a little bit less on minis, but it's still present. Yeah, Rain. Good morning, Billy. How you doing? Last night was one of the worst in a long time. Yeah, Asia's been really good recently. We barely missed that gap fill. QQQ got a really firm bounce off London 50 right there. Our gap fill level is right to 614. Oops, where'd that go? Our gap fill is to 614.33. And for SPY, our gap fill is to 693.95. We need those two levels to hit. And then once those hit, again, it's dependent on, I'm not going to take anything until we get out of this range, 614.33, 616.46. Should happen on the opening candle, but once we get outside this range, depending on which one of these breaks first, that's going to give us our bias. If we have previous day's high break first, as long as the IV stays bullish, I'll stay long. But if we have that gap fill first, I'd prefer to see that with how high of a chance it is. So given that we opened within that first bracket, we opened at 0.018 for a gap. We have a 94% chance that that gap gets filled on Qs. So we should see 614.33 first. If we don't see that first, I'm going to be a little skeptical in the longs. So I really want to see that level get tapped. Hopefully it gets swept. So go just below it, and then we can see a nice little spring shot back up to 616. We have the midnight open just above the gap fill. We have everything from last night just above the gap fill, Kurt. That was terrible. But yeah, midnight. I have been using midnight open quite a bit as well. Midnight open was 25.345, so we just barely missed that. No trades until we're out of this range. And you guys are not familiar with bull flags and bear flags. You do not trade when price is within the flag. You wait for the breakout. So all these instances where we have a bull flag and bear flag, these are just chop markets. Another pretty good representation right here. You do not take trades in the flag. You take trades on the move outside of the flag. So we're not going to be touching this until it's outside of this range. Previous day's high and the gap fill, unfortunately, are both, I'd say, equally significant stats. So it's going to be, this is what's happening right now. We have this level that's trying to pull price up, but we also have bears who are also trying to keep it down. So we're in a tug of war right now. Bears want it to go up to 616.53 first, so they can bring it down and hit that gap fill. Bulls want it to hit 614.33 first, so they can take it up to previous day's high. Until then, this is just a consolidation from really all the way until 12, all the way from 12, sorry. So 12 o'clock yesterday to 9:30 this morning. Is it going to be your first payout soon? My first payout with Apex, yes. It'll be my first payout with them. There we go. 40 cents. Sweep down another 40 cents, then we're good. Man, that stinks. I'm very excited for this payout. How long have you been trading on Apex again? Like, when did you buy the evals? January 3rd is when I started on the PAs. Sorry. I had 6 accounts on December like 28th. And then I got the remaining 14 on January 3rd. I think I passed them all on January 4th or 5th and started trading on the 20 the 20 PAs, not XFAs. God no. Started trading on the 20 PAs on probably January 6th. So this has been probably like 28 to 30 trading days. I mean, when I started these accounts, it is exactly what I said in terms of getting the payout. It just depends on the way that you look at it. If this is, which I'm going to go ahead and say I have it already, unless I do something really stupid, which I'm not going to. There's literally no reason for me to go for more money on these accounts or lose any more money. We're going to do one MES on the IB. If I end up down 100 today, I end up down 100. I still have, on all these accounts, I still have $700 until it's not a max payout. So I'd have to lose $700 over the next 2 days on one MES, which just isn't going to happen. I trade these accounts for probably 30 trading. I'll tell you actually right now. So January 6th is when I'm going to say I had the. Oh, my calendar's not working again. Hold on. Let me go on my phone. Google Chrome does not. It's not cooperating with my PC. I don't know why. So January 6th, we had one trading holiday in January. 5, 10, 15, 18, 23, 25, 24 trading days in total. There we go. Gap fill is taken. So now I want to see a wick get established at 614.33, and then we can shoot way back up. How long have I been trading in general? 6 years, I'd say. I've been trading 8 years, but I've been doing 6 years seriously. The first 2 years weren't really all that serious. So 24 trading days R2. We have 7 minutes. Wow, that first candle felt like forever. We have 7 minutes to get back over 614.33. If this does not hold, then we'll just be looking for Friday's high at 611.40. I do like that the individuals are pushing right now, so I think this is probably going to be a fake. Also, SPY hasn't taken that gap fill yet, so that's another reason we haven't pushed up. We need SPY to push down another 10 cents from where that low wick was, 694.05. Once SPY fills that gap, then we have no more draw to the downside. NVDA and Tesla are still up a decent amount. NVIDIA's pretty much break even, but Tesla should be pulling Qs for today. It's up just about 2%. There we go. Gap fill's taken on SPY as well. So now we should see both of these push up to previous day's high. I don't think we're going to go all the way down to previous day's low. That would be a bit of a stretch for the inside bar. 605. A little too far down there. What I was getting at, sorry, lost track there. A $30,000 payout over 2 months, $15,000 a month. That is more than enough money for should be everyone within the U.S. Unless you guys are living well outside your means, that should be more than enough money. Especially for what I spent to get those accounts. I think all in on Apex, I'm like with the blown accounts, like 3,300, 3,600. Because they're always on sale. It's not like it's that expensive, even if you do go and blow the XFAs. God, I gotta stop saying XFAs. I was reading too much Top Step drama this morning. Bulls got what they want this morning. We should be targeting up to 616.46. And we're getting a really nice wick right now. Would have been even better had we taken London low, swept below that, but this gap fill with a sweep back up. As long as this wick closes over 614.33, we're good. It's looking really good on SPY right now. Mouse is a little delayed. I don't know what the deal is. It's just with Chrome. Anytime I try taking a screenshot, it doesn't work now. That's okay. We'll be able to switch it up on this as well. So if we don't end up taking that high, or if we don't end up closing back over that low, we still have 4 minutes. Then we can just take shorts and we can look for the IB for today. We'll go to the IB for, oh, we're already on Tuesdays. Oh, I did want to mention this earlier as well. I will not be taking the IB low today on either SPY and Qs. Neither SPY and Qs. Qs, I'm not, SPY, I'm not really all that inclined to take it if the high forms first, but definitely on Qs for today, we're not going to be taking it because the stat's sitting at 90%. I think, let's see, go and count it down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on 7 weeks in a row of the IB winning to the high. A low forms first. We're on 7 consecutive weeks where the high has been taken. If the high forms first, don't really want to take it on SPY because this one is on the other side of that stat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive weeks of the IB winning. The last one was November 25th. So both of these are kind of, Tuesday's kind of overdue for a loss on the strategy. We might not even take anything on that today. For the high forming first on Qs, it's okay. It's 75%, so this one's in line with what would usually happen. SPY is well over the average, 85% for Tuesdays. This should be down at like 75, 76 maybe. And then again, QQQ, this one is on way too many winning Tuesdays in a row anyway. So it's not that I'm necessarily doubting the data. It's just it's like flipping a coin 7 times and calling tails on the 7th time, or roulette, whatever you want to refer it to. Still has an equal chance of happening, but doesn't work in my head. That makes sense. It's the human psychology part of it. It's kind of funny. I like Apex rules as long as you're not a gambler. It's pretty easy. Yeah, and then if you guys are breaking rules on prop firms, you're going to be punished for it regardless. Prop firms, I think, definitely Lucid, Tradeify, and My Funded Futures. Those ones are probably the easiest 3 to get payouts on now. Top Step used to be, but they've gone on a. They're trying to speed run how fast they can collapse the company, apparently. But Lucid, by far, that's the easiest one to get a payout on. Apex, the mindset of the fact that technically I'm down 500 today because I'm down 25 over 20 accounts. The mindset that a $50 day, 25 points on one micro, or 5 points on one MES, that $50 is $1,000 day, and that's more than probably 90% of the U.S. makes, or the world. So going into that mindset with the 20 accounts is much better. 40 seconds on this candle. I really want it to close over 614.33. We did get the sweep of London low, which is a little bit better for a long. I'm still going to be anticipating a move up to previous day's high. I do not think we are going all the way down to previous day's low. And the stat that we're leaning on for that is the inside bar stat. Has an 82% chance of happening. Oop, sorry. 80.26, not 82. Has a very high chance of happening. I do not think that we're going to fulfill that stat all the way down to 605. If we do, especially after the price action we got last night, then it's best not to take a trade today. Do we have today's Tuesday? Do we have? I'll need some help here. What's going on, Kiki? How you doing, Mr. Zinc? Yes, yes, it is me. Do we have NFP tomorrow? Does anyone know? We do have NFP tomorrow. So this would be the equivalent of us trading last Thursday, which, if you remember, I didn't want to trade then either. And if we have NFP tomorrow, then we have CPI on Friday. Which CPI on a Friday, that's disgusting. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. So NFP tomorrow, probably not wise to go and deploy ourselves too heavily today. Can you get another sweep? How you doing, Steve? Take anything last night, today, this morning? Good. Well, my whole feed is still just I can't even go and find news because it's just all Top Step drama, which is kind of funny reading all the stuff. They're legitimately speed running how fast they can crash. Cracks me up. All right, not going. Now that I know we have NFP tomorrow, I knew that going into today. I just forgot it. Forgot to put two and two together. Definitely not going to be looking to go that aggressive today. At most, we will be looking for one MES on the IB trade, and that's it. Thursdays before NFP, which is kind of weird that it's now Tuesday before NFP, but we move on. Thursdays before NFP, the IB typically does not work. So I'd imagine the same is probably the case for Tuesdays before NFP, even though we've only had this one Tuesday before an NFP. Still getting a nice bounce. Nice-ish bounce. This is just a big old bull flag right now. The trend, given that we do always trade trends, so there's kind of an exception for this. We probably have one or two more bounces within this trend. So it's a very, very small downtrend, but still a trend nonetheless. Good news is our range is probably the smallest one that we've seen in weeks. So we could definitely take it on M and Q today. I just don't know if I want to deploy that kind of risk still. It is 90 points right now. Actually, no. It is 85 points. Finally, a smallish IB. Qs. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream on YouTube. If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a few likes. It does go a long way. It's the best way to support me on this, and edgeful as well. Delayed NFP, I wouldn't really say it's delayed, but it's not like we're looking at NFP from 2 months ago like most of the other delayed reports. We're looking at NFP from last Friday. Why why am I anticipating upside? Because of the inside bar stat. Now this one could definitely be due a loss. It's had 4 in a row, which is in line with what the stats are saying. 1 out of 5 times it's going to lose, which we see right here. Last 5 days opening within yesterday's range. 130 lost, 2-3, 2-4, 2-6, 2-9. Those ones all won. So it's in line with what the data is telling us. I do not think that it's going to go all the way down to 605. I also don't think that we're going to stay within this range all day. The consolidation that we've seen has been at the top of this range. So once we do break this consolidation, it should be a bull flag break because the flagpole of this is pointing to the upside. So consolidation after a manipulation move or after a explosive move up or down. The consolidation, as long as it's tilting down a little bit, and this is all off low volume too, right? As long as it's tilting down a little bit, we should anticipate a move higher. So that's why I'm anticipating upside today. We just need to figure out how to capitalize on it. If SPY and Qs end up printing opposing IBs, then we're definitely not going to take it. We need both of them to go and run up to previous day's high together. And then ideally, like what happened yesterday, we got a really nice entry on the IB yesterday as well. I did enter a lot earlier than 50%. I entered at 10:05 yesterday. Secured 55 on the way up, waited for a pullback, and then secured another 55 on MES. So gonna look to do the same thing today. The reason I entered early yesterday was because I was targeting previous day's high, 611.40 on Qs, and then SPY was 692.30. That's the move I was looking for. There we go. Beautiful push back up. 616, 16 is the IBI right now. So that's the first level we're going to be looking for. Also, if anyone logged on to TradingView this morning, TradingView is doing a Valentine's Day sale right now. 80% off annual packages. The one that I have is, I got really lucky a couple of years ago. I'm still booked in for this. I pay $13 a month for the premium. Ultimate, I don't really think you need. I don't think anyone should be running this many indicators on their chart. The reason that I have premium, really, I mean, I don't even really need premium. Plus would be fine as well. But you can see that you're paying 2 cents more for premium as opposed to plus. But sometimes I do have more than 4 chart tabs open, so I guess that's why I get it. But definitely, when these sales pop up, if you guys go through the process, as a little tip I learned years ago that I didn't end up doing. If you go through the process and click through, get the 70% off, you go all the way through the cart, and you end up exiting out just before you go and actually pay for it, you will get an email that has probably 80% off or like 85 to 90% off. So if you kind of leave them on the edge a little bit, act like you're going to buy it and then cancel out, they'll give you another 10% off for free. But definitely worth it. Sorry about that. Walk. Woke. I was just pointing out that they had a sale. That's all. All right, there we go. We're getting a move back up. SPY should almost be at its IB high as well, which it is. Just about at the IB high. That leave it in the cart place works, or that leave it in the cart trick works many places. Doesn't work at the dealership, that's for sure. I wish it did. Cooking woke. Maybe I'll just call you woke for fun. Cooking walk. No. Very good read on this. Very happy with how we just deployed that. Obviously, we didn't take anything on it. Really weird looking 5-minute candle. That did not have a wick on the bottom nor on the top. It had maybe a 2-cent wick on the top, 1 to 2 cents, but that is a straight old FU candle if you guys are in shorts. This is the trend right now. Draw it out again. This is our current trend. So 8 out of 10 times, anytime we react on this trend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 10 times it holds. So this tap right here that we're seeing, this should be the one that breaks it, and we should anticipate a move right up to previous day's high, 616.46. SPY just took it. Just took previous day's high, 695.84, and previous day's high was missed it by 2 cents actually. 695.86 is previous day's high. SPY just hit 695.84. 4 cents, 2 cents. I was right. Greetings, day 2, trading ES while watching along 84.94. Very nice, Sarah. 84.94. Oh, way down here. Nice 14 points. Or you got 10 points. I'm assuming you got out at 94. Still can't trade gold on Apex. The only 2 firms in the entire space that you can still trade gold on, the same size gold and silver, is Lucid and Tradeify. Those are the only 2 that did not interrupt. But pretty much everywhere else limited your size. That means that prop firms were just getting absolutely destroyed on silver moves, gold and silver moves. Ooh, Frenchie got in a long. Nice. Very close to taking a new IB high. Beautiful read on this, by the way. Gorgeous. SPY took previous day's high. Q should be next up. See, now if I thought less on that trade, I probably would have taken longs. If I didn't talk so much about it. Let's see what our entry could have been. We could have entered at even an entry at 25.3 would have gotten stopped out because I would have put the stop at 40 points on that, $80. MES, we definitely could have taken that one. It was a lot stronger. I've got the same entry. We could have put a 10-point stop on that, which would have been $50. And then our reward would have been 20, right up to previous day's high. Also, another addition onto that play, 7,000 for a draw. Anytime that we're that close to psych levels, we usually pivot right to them. We have 25-4 that's rejecting right now. That should be pretty easy to get through. Also, for your question this morning, Rolo, you see how on Qs the previous day's high is lined up with that London high perfectly? 616.44, 616.46, 2 cents off, but close enough. Going over to MNQ, previous day's high is at 25.428, and our London high is at 25.421. So 7 points of slippage right there. So if you're someone that trades price targets based on London high or previous day's high, one of these two is lying. So if you're trading it to previous day's high and it rejects at London high, then you go over to QQQ and you see that they're at the same level and you miss 7 points. Even though your full TP hit, you get kind of screwed over on that position. So that slippage is not what we want to make, or not what we want to trade. NQ is still not made a new IB high. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. It should. I'll probably make it here in the next 15 minutes. It should go to previous day's high. This isn't. Even if it does go and make the high, I will probably take the trade on SPY. I am discounting the win rate on this a little bit today. 90% chance that it happens. It's not a true 90% chance. You can go down here to the table and it shows you what each individual break has been for the past 6 months. This one is on a 7-week win streak for the Tuesday's IB. The low form first into the high. I traded long off the 14 EMA up 30 points now. Very nice, Kurt. Very nice. Lonnie, I took the first trade L for Gatful and NQ, then took ES and NQ to previous day's high. Very nice. Good job, Lonnie. I would be tempted to take a long right now on SPY. There's not really any reward to it. We'd be expecting literally 5 points up, $25. QQQ, we could also take a long. This one would be not a long to the IB high. This one would be a long to previous day's high, but this same thing is only 20 points. And it is entirely due to the NFP report coming out tomorrow morning. What'd you end up getting, Steve? That hurts. That does hurt. To what, like 120 point miss? Ouch. New IB high is 616.15. They're all in line on the minis as well. I will not be opening up the NQ chart to check it because someone I knew made a fatal mistake on accident. They may or may not be in here. Opening the wrong chart. You open minis and then you go and think that you're trading micros and not minis. That is the last thing that I want to do. Put a trade in for 40 micros and end up getting filled on 40 minis. That would be terrifying. And with my luck, if that did happen, I would probably enter 20 seconds before Trump would tweet 50% tariffs on every country in the world, and the stock would, QQQ would immediately fall 300 points, and all my progress evaporates. Gosh, that's a nightmare thinking about that. Let's move on from that topic, shall we? Ooh. Made me shake just thinking about doing that on accident. A long right now would be about 30 points of reward. So we did a 1-to-1 on M and Q, risk 30 points to make 30 points. Previous day's high should hit pretty easily. I don't think that we're gonna reject from here. I think it should push right up to previous day's high. It depends on, well, it always depends on the timing of it. But I can't imagine we reject that 25.4. It doesn't very clearly see that from last night. It's not a psych level. It's not an important psych level anyway. So entry would have been probably 25,396 is what we were just dangling at. And then stop loss would be 25,360. MES off 50 level longs? Yeah, if we can get it. We can get a pullback to it. If not, then I don't have anything to take. Tesla's fading down a little bit. 25.4. I mean, I guess it kind of is looking like a. That's another bull flag right here. This is a micro trend I'd add in. So this is definitely higher lows, equal highs. This thing's gonna explode here in a minute. It's gonna go right up to that previous day's high. I highly doubt it's gonna reject. 70 cents away right now from previous day's high. If it does reject, then that's our loss for the IB on Tuesdays. And then everything. Once this does lose, by the way, this will go back down to probably 82%. We'll check it tomorrow. This will probably go back down to 82 to 84%. And if it loses another week in a row, it will go all the way back down to 78. There's the explosion. Should have taken that long. Would have been 50 points right there. That is as good as it gets for a primed move. Even had a little sweep to it to stop some people out, I'm sure. Anyone that had like a 10-point stop loss. There's the explosion. That is 40 points on the dot for that break. The entry would have been 25,396. So it could have capitalized on 50-ish points. 48 points at best. Very nice Rafshan. I can't seem to trade MGC on Apex 25K. Is it me? There's a restriction on it, Eddie. Apex removed the ability to trade micro gold. If I go and try to put a bid in, they'll reject it. So they put a, make sure I don't have anything working on that. They put a restriction on micro gold, all gold and all silver, all precious metals. Question for everyone in the stream today. Are trends making a lot more sense to you? Trend days, trends in general, playing trends. Especially what we just had that called it just before it happened. Obviously didn't capitalize on it. This trend, higher lows, equal highs. So what happens when you, well, slightly lower highs. What happens when you get to a point or close to a point? You have that little explosion like what we just had, which I kind of wish I took longs off of now. This previous day's high was also dangling there for us. Now we are outside. We're officially outside of the trend that we had from yesterday. So we should, in all honesty, we should have a very nice continuation for the rest of the day. This might be one of those days that we go up to 1 to 2 standard deviation. I'm struggling with pullbacks. Don't know exactly when to get in. I've got a really bad habit of trying to catch reversals. So what you can do, Pickus, same thing I've been doing in Asia session. you don't need to be super accurate, but the last thing you want to do is reverse a trend. You do not want to go against the trend. Yesterday, we did it twice. We didn't go against the trend. We entered in on the trend twice. For the move that you have, I like to wait for a nice red candle. So we have the opening move. This lines up with price targets as well. So we had previous day's high for a price target. I did take a loss in the first try, but the second two, you can enter. I like to put 40-point stop losses on one micro. You can even up it to 50 points if you want to risk another 20 bucks. That 40 points, it's a wide stop loss, but it takes away how accurate you have to be on the trade. So let's say I entered we had this red candle at 10:15 yesterday, right? Let's say I entered the second that candle flipped red in 25,201. The candle wicked down to 25,166. So that's 34 points down. I'd still be in the trade by 4 points. And then it ripped and just continued up for the entire day, all the way up to 25,400. So my entry, had it been at 25.2, this is obviously it's easy to say in hindsight. Had it been at 25,200, I put a 40-point stop in because I'm joining the trend. If that 40-point stop hits, it's probably more likely that it's going to reverse and continue trading lower. 40-point stop did not hit. It would have been at 25,160. We hit 25,166. And then it ended up pushing from 25,180 on the next candle to 25,275. So that's 150 bucks I would have made on that candle. And then it ended up just continuing up another 125 points. So if you're finding yourself getting stopped out on the pullbacks or struggling when to enter on the pullbacks, just size down as far as you can go and put a very loose stop loss on it. Better yet, you can do the same exact thing. I've been doing this with MES all week. You can do the same exact thing on MES. Instead of setting a 40-point stop, you can set a 20-point stop on MES or 18 points. 18 points is going to be the same as $90 on MNQ, 45-point stop on MNQ. But these 20-point stops on MES, especially when it's trending, almost never hit. Because 20 points on MES to pullback is a massive pullback. Kind of upset that I didn't take longs there. I really don't want to see the IB move all the way, the IB 50 anyway. I don't want to see the IB 50 end up moving all the way up to where that candle wicked to, because then that will show it's a very valid level. You looking for longs? Absolutely. Absolutely. I did that with one on YM this morning. There you go, French. I did that MES off 50 longs if we can get it. Trends are making more sense. Beautiful. I'm definitely going to be looking for longs today. We just need to get a good entry for it. Quick little crash course on how to trade trends, Pickus. Like right now, I think this would be a pretty good entry for longs on SPY. The stop loss would be the IB low is 20 points away, so it's a little too high of a risk. I want a little bit more if we can get it. 20-point risk for a 10-point reward doesn't really make sense quite yet. So we want it to go at least a little bit lower, 694.98. Drop down another 50 cents, please. Looking for longs, yes. There we go. Might be a little early to get in. It's a hard rejection on previous day's high. Do we try it? Do we not? Hesitated a little too long. So it's definitely bouncing. Looks a lot better than it did there, that's for sure. I think I talked too much. Should have entered at 694, 695. I do not want to take it on Qs today for this reason right here. And if this ends up winning on Qs, great. Definitely not taking it next Tuesday. Not really all that inclined to take it on SPY either, because then I guess I kind of be calling BS. SPY, I don't know how it's off by this much, but SPY is off by 20% for the win rate, which is weird. Very weird. I think I will just probably sit in my hands today. SPY should go and take the high. Not a fan of the sweep at previous day's high on both of these, especially with it. We just put a wick lower because now we're right back in that trend. We don't want to play sideways price action. I really, really want to see Qs end up taking a loss on the IB today. Very much want to see it take a loss in the IB today. Why is NFP on a Wednesday this month? Thought it's always on a Friday. The government shutdown delayed it. But why they delayed it to a Wednesday, I have no idea. Makes zero sense to me. You know, it'd be crazy if this happens today. If SPY ends up going and taking the high, because SPY's been stronger all morning. SPY ends up going and taking the high, and then slingshotting down. Did you get some wins today, R2? Did you catch the longs that I unfortunately did not? I should have, instead of yapping too long, I should have entered that long on this consolidation. This is a nasty looking 1 minute candle. I never look at the 1 minute time frame, but that's not. This is now inversing that consolidation we had over here. So I would think that price is probably going to go down a little bit more. You'll take it and go. Oh, when'd you get on the 28x accounts? Is it possible to see the longest winning streak on the IB on NQ? Let's see if I can do it on here. What is the longest winning streak? The by rejection. QQQ. That did not help. Let's see if we can do it manually. I'm going to go to 5 years. I'm not taking the trade on MNQ today, no. SPY, we could. MES is, I'm probably talking myself out of it, and I'll kick myself for it later, I'm sure. But yeah, I do feel bad about that. That would be 10 points right there already. Yeah, well. Anyway, so this is what the average win rate should be for Qs over the past 5 years. So I guess it's not that far off for Tuesdays. Tuesdays must be really good for the IB. Maybe we can take it. It's only 8% over what the average is. Definitely missing out on SPY right now, sadly. But it's okay. So we can go. SPY has an 80% rate. Tuesdays are really good. Holy smokes. So let's see. We can refine it to low. That didn't work. Yeah, probably. I'll wait for their AI to come out. The one that Andre was showing yesterday. I'll wait for that to come out, and then we can actually look into that. So I guess this is really only over the past 5 years. This is only 8% over the average. Maybe Tuesdays are our best days to take the IB to the high. So now I feel silly for not looking into that more. Perfect long entry off previous day's point of control. Very nice, Brent. What's going on, Zav? How you doing? I'm good. I'm good. How are you? I should have taken those longs now that I went and looked at that 5-year data. I feel silly. QQQ. Well, now we're kind of at a. I don't want to take it because we have that 90% stat. We have NFP tomorrow. I want to take it on SPY, but I think I already missed what my 50% entry would have been. And now the reward on SPY is only 3 points. We're at 702. 6989 area. Yeah, it would have been the best entry. 6989 is right where the 50% mark is. Long from 93s on ES. Yeah, it's my fault for missing it. I longed it, but second guessed it. Wicked at my stop point. But since getting grilled about eco data at the moment, it seems if that's anything, that was probably the reason for the 1 minute drop. That 1 minute candle was disgusting. This is a stop out candle now. In hindsight, you got in at 6988. Oh, cheeky guy over here got in 1 point better than where the 50% was. You still in it right now, Rolo? You got the literal best possible entry. You could have gotten 1 point better. Not even. You could have gotten a half point better. You could have gotten 6987.5. Yeah, I was talking about this yesterday on stream. I was thinking the reason I just missed this was because I was thinking too much. So I'm trying to do better about is not thinking as much. I've been talking myself out of a lot of very good trades. Did it twice today, actually. Kind of early to take. Yeah. Right at the open of that 15-minute candle, I would have said it was too early, but this past one was at 10:20. This is the 10:20 close. It wicked right to it. So this entry right here at 10:17 would have been a lot better than the one at 10:13, even though it's only 4 minutes later. Would have been much better. Feel kind of silly now. Don't want to chase it on MNQ. MNQ definitely could have entered down there. It would have been 80 points now, but it's all talking in hindsight. Do you normally only trade the mornings? I trade Asia session, Glopex open-ish. I'll trade like 6:30 to 8:30, that window. After 9 o'clock, I'm usually done. And then 10:30 to 11:30. Probably no trading after 11:30. Anytime I've traded after noon, especially, nothing good ever happens. Let's see if Ash is talking about the IB today. That'd be kind of cool. The IB is becoming contagious, by the way. New tab. I feel pretty good about not taking it now. What's going on, Vincent? How you doing? The long's not looking good, or not in longs. It's crazy the amount of emotions the market will throw you for in that short of time, huh? You had the Rolo. You traded that perfectly today. Holy smokes! You just got out at almost the tippy top, didn't you? Very good. I feel much better about not taking it now. Would I enter now? I'm still. I don't know. I want to because I want to have a win. What would our risk be? So if we enter right at 50%, if we get down to that, that is. I just wick to it again, or is that it hasn't been down there quite yet? If we get an entry right at 50%, 6 8, just call it 6990. That's 15 points up or down. So our risk would be $75. So put me at negative 100 on the day, or plus 50 if we get the trade. So if we take it at 50%, either going to be down 100, up 50. I said it several times last week, and I was going to stick to it as well. I really do not want to take it before NFP, because every time I've tried taking the IB before NFP, it's failed, and that's at 50%. If it plays out today, I'm still going to make the IB remains goated post, but I'll add in that I did not trade it. Definitely. 5% of IB retracement is usually my stop loss. 75%. Oh, 75%. You said. You see, the reason I wouldn't put that, Zav, is the IB is invalidated when it breaks the opposing side. We've had 3 instances over the past 2 months where it's gone to like 80% while we've been in the. We had one last week, even Wednesday, February 4th. This went to looks like 75%, just below 75%, and then it ended up taking the IB low. We were in this trade as well. I think we caught this on stream on Wednesday. And then I ended stream while still in the position. Another one right here. This one went all the way up to 682. So this is well over 75%. This is like 80% of the IB. And then went all the way back to the bottom. But there's been several instances where it's retraced well over 50%. Another one right here. This one never ended up breaking, but 687.72 missed the IB low by 60 cents and then went to the high. We didn't get the retracement quite yet on that candle. I think it went down to what was our low? 6993. So 3 points over would have been a 12-point reward, 18-point risk. I'm going off the 1 hour candle continuation, anticipating a break of highs. I do think it's going to break the highs today. Just I'm thinking too much. That's the issue. You didn't miss anything. You missed me talking myself out of trades. That's about it, Pickus. It's definitely shaping up to go and take the high on SPY. Qs is a little more iffy. SPY has been stronger all morning as well. This would be the IB break now. This is a 4-point move. What's going on, Kirk? Good morning. IB forming is sometimes nerve-wracking. That's not too bad. Sizing down answers that problem if you get anxious about the IB. 25,400, we could enter right now with a 40-point risk reward. That would put us at the same level. We'd either be up 60 on the day or down 110. It's going to go to the high. Reprogramming mine. No trades, just squeak voice commentary with analysis. The T is helping. The T is helping. I know. I hate my voice crack so much. I usually go small, then add as it validates the move. Thanks for the amazing session. I'm off to work now. Good luck, chat. Thank you, Kurt. There's the IB high taken on SPY. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Q's is going to take it now, too. Well, sorry about that, guys. Let's see if we can get Ash to say anything about it. Analysis paralysis. I do like that. It's a good saying. It's definitely what I had today. I got longs in those. Just tuned in. Did you make any trades in New York so far? I did not. What was the question mark for, JP? Oh, Rolo's still hanging around. You're out the highs. Very nice, Zav. Did you get it on Inspire or did you get it on Qs? The guy above me said something stupid. Oh, reprogramming mind. Oh, he's got a valid point. I did talk myself out of 3 trades this morning. Think less. I need to think less. Could no. I don't. We could chase it right now. It's such a bad thing to say, but it'd be a 30-point trade to the high. That wouldn't do anything for us today. Still in line with Qs though. Qs should go and take the. None of the trades you talked yourself out of were A+ setups. You want to talk yourself out of really good setups. I should have taken the one on SPY. SPY is the. I should have taken the longs on the 1 minute time frame when we flashed down to that. I should have taken this explosive move up, but I really should have taken the one on SPY. That's the one I'm a little regretful of because that hit 50%. The 10-15 candle, that one was a lot better. The one after wasn't really all that good. But it's these pre-NFP days that get me the most. I would like to be more like you. Would have saved me so many blown accounts. There's nothing that bad with not taking trades. Just the frustration that comes after. I think longs right now would be good on Qs. I think a long up to that IB high. Question is, if we risk 40 points, then that puts us at IB 50, and then that's in line with what we'd want anyway. I don't have anything today. I'm thinking too much. It's going to be too iffy. Just knocked my mic over to boot. Rough morning. Rough morning. Still in line. Screw it. We'll put a 40-point stop on it. That puts us at 59. And then, so I'll either be down 100 on the day or I'll be up 60. TP's at the high, IB high. Long 1M and Q. To IB high. 1-to-1 risk reward. Or risking 40 points. 50-point TP, 40-point stop loss. And I'm looking for the IB high, which is 25,446. We'll see if I end up regretting it. If it ends up losing, I'll be down 100 on the day. If it ends up winning, I'll be up 60. Higher time frames are arrangement. Doesn't mean trades can't work, just harder. Do you look at OTF? So I now put my stop loss at previous 30-minute lows, looking for higher high, higher low. Entered 4 MES 6991 exit at 7,005, 310 locked in. Gex and Dex are positive, which gave me a bit more confidence. Those are things I don't use. And we'll see. I'll probably end up regretting this, but it'll give me a good reminder of the rules going forward. Looks like a consolidation day having a hard time breaking out. It is. Entry is pretty much right at 25.4. Break even right now. Entry on the dot is 25,399. They're looking for a high break. Just 1M and Q, 40-point stop loss on it. 1-to-1 risk reward, a little bit under 1-to-1. If it was 1-to-1, we'd be risking 48 points. TP is at 447. Oh, you can't use arrows to drag it down. 447 is the IB high. So this is, if it hits, it's going to be a 48-point trade, which would put me at 75 profit on the day. If it ends up losing, it's a 40-point loss, which would put me at negative 105 on the day. Still holding bull? Yes. Yes, I am, sadly. It's a terrible position. Let's see how much I'm down on it. Believe it or not, I'm down more on MSTX. Bull, I am down 8,910. MSTX, I'm down 48,000. Oh, that hurts. Be a good tax write-off in coming years. I'm gonna hold it anyway. Futures will bring me out of that hole. Still in it. We are currently up $7, $10 now. 25,399. I would like to see another close. As long as SPY holds previous day's high too, this should have a pretty nice move up. I would like to see a close over 25.4. That would be ideal. I'll draw it out on here. So our stop loss is in line with this candle's wick. Actually, right at London 52. It's not a very good entry on my part, is it? That's the trade right there. So it's a 1.3 risk reward. So it might be a little tiny bit higher than where it is. Is that the open of that candle? Just below it. I gotta go to control. We'll shift it down a little bit. It's right about there. So I'd say 615, probably 80, 87 is our entry. And we want a break up to IB. Watch this one end up taking like an hour. That'd be kind of funny how close it is. Where are you down right now, Steve? If you're trading horribly and you're up 33, you probably end it there, yeah. No more minis. No more minis. I know what I don't like is I talked myself out of those other trades, and now I got into one that's not really as good, I'd say. I'm still gonna hold it. I'm happy either way. If it's down 100 on the day, I'm red anyway. I'm down 25. So what's another 70 or what's another $80 on that? And then if I end up going green, then I'm up decent on the day. Same thing I said in stream yesterday though. The more you guys watch it, watching the chart's not going to do anything for you. It will do actually a lot more harm than good. If I sit here and just stare into the abyss that is the up and down of this candle, I will screw myself 9 times out of 10. And the worst thing that I see happens to every single trader I've ever talked to, every single one. Let's say this trade just wicked all the way down to 5 points above my stop loss. And I wasn't comfortable with taking the stop loss. I was just praying that it didn't hit. Or heaven forbid, I added another contract while I was red. Let's say that happens. And that I'm watching it. I'm watching it happen. I'm down $700. I'm down $800. I'm down $900. Wicks barely off my stop loss. I'm now up $26 after being down $900. Do you think I'm probably going to secure the position at $26 green after being down 900? Probably. So it comes from oversizing. You don't let your trades play out. You're not accepting of the stop losses that will inevitably come. And you screw yourself out of getting actual winning trades because you're just worried about the dollar amount flashing down here. That's why when I enter the trade on M and Q over here, we go and open up QQQ. Even the candle moving up and down, I do not like seeing that. So what I'll do, I have this little, I don't even know what it is. I think it came off of my AirPod case. Just kind of like a little fidget. I'm a fidget spinner kid. And then I'll just go on my phone, usually. If I'm not on stream, being on stream does help because I do read the comments you guys have. But like yesterday, I played Clash Royale. I played 2 games of Clash Royale while the trade went and hit full TP. Because anything is better than sitting and staring at the up down. Staring at the green and red of the chart is the worst possible thing you can do if you enter a trade. Put my McDonald's order. Well, I actually just got it yesterday for the first time in months. I got a hot and spicy honey snack wrap, I think is what it was called. When I was a kid, my grandfather worked there. I used to get McDonald's religiously. And every single time I'd get a 20-piece nugget with two things of barbecue sauce. That was my order for my entire childhood. And then it used to be 2 McChickens and a small fry. And then I just kind of stopped going. Makes me feel nasty. All right, up 51 now. Probably don't want to secure it yet. I'm gonna try to let it run to the full TP, but I'm trying to figure out when we can. No, 20 points is good enough. We'll put the stop loss at break even. If a stop loss hits, whatever. It was a subpar entry anyway. But if it does hit, I'm going to be salty about it. We need to get over this previous day's high right here. And then let it run. Go on my phone. Everything will be okay. Especially when you guys... There's no giveaway with you. It's funny. Especially if you guys get into trades and you're anxious about the amount that you have in the trade. This is going to go and hit my stop loss, I feel. If you're anxious about the amount you have in the trade, then you shouldn't be in the trade to start. But if you're worried about the outcome before the outcome has even presented itself, if you're worried about what the trade's doing, like each tick up and down, if I'm worried about that, I'm not even going to have a chance. So you need to let it run up and down. Wish I did this with your 20 accounts. 724? You have 30K balance on those accounts there, buddy? Is that just on one account? Is that why? Well, you know what I meant. You have 5K in equity. Oh, bastard. I hate that noise. All right, well, I guess we should have secured the 50, but it's okay. I'm not going to take another entry on that. Stopped at break even. Going to be down. Well, it stopped at 250 profit, actually. But going to be down 24. Not planning on taking another entry. I do think there's still a good chance that this ends up free falling all the way to the IB low. But it was worth the attempt there. Wish I had gotten a little bit better of an entry. Had I gotten a better entry, I probably would have secured right there. If I had gotten down at like 25,380, maybe. So that would have been 50 points. Yeah, I definitely would have secured at 100. That stop filled scares the hell out of me every time, even though I know it's at break even. Still such a loud noise in your ear. All right, we'll be done there. Still intact. Maybe if it gets down to the 50. I don't think it will. But I do think it was probably just going to hang around within the. I highly doubt we get all the way down to previous day's low. Actually, that's almost no chance of happening because we already broke previous day's high. This might be a no break day, or it might be a loss. Who's to know? Definitely could have done a little bit better there. But that's okay. As I was saying, I'll be a little upset if we had left the stop loss where it was and it ends up working. But as I was saying, had we watched that P&L go up and down the whole time, especially after being, I think we were down like $40 at the peak of that. Yeah, 20 points. So we were down $40 at the peak. Had I watched that the entire time after being down 40 and then seeing the trade up 50, and for the example, let's amplify that 10 times because that's honestly what most people are doing is one mini as opposed to one micro for whatever reason. You go and trade even 5 micros on that. You go from down $200 to up 300 or up 200. You're 9 times out of 10 probably going to secure the 100 to 200 green, especially after seeing yourself down 200. Or if you were in one mini after seeing yourself down $400, you're going to secure that position. I changed all my sounds to be easier on the ear. Yeah, no, sorry if that scared you guys as much as me. Not gonna take a reentry on it, no. As hard as this is gonna be, I very much want to long it right now because I almost made that mistake again. I almost left that sell order in. As much as I want to long it because the IV's still intact, it does look good for a long. I'm gonna go and double check, make sure everything's closed. What's the potential reward for me if I were to long this? This is how I've been looking at it, and it's been helping me a lot. What's my reward versus what's my risk if I were to go short or long? Sorry. My reward is maybe I catch a win, knowing that I should catch a win or hoping that I catch a win. And the reason it's already off the table is because I've talked too much today. I've worried too much. It's not going to be a good quality trade if I go and take it. If this wins, I'm going to be up maybe $50, $70 on the day. It's not really that much of a difference from being down 24. If this loses, heaven forbid it loses it, but if it does lose it, lose the trade. If I were to enter long right now, theoretically my stop loss should be at 250. Let's say I put it down at another 1-to-1 risk reward, 40 points down, 50 points down. Being down 120 is a lot worse than being down 24, not just because of the number, but because of the psychological impact that it has on you. So if I go from being down 24 to being down 124, that's my risk. My reward is being down 24 to being up maybe $50 to $75. That's if it goes and hits the full TP. So does that risk reward sound beneficial to me? Not really. I'm either going to have a small green day, especially in the position that I am with this payout. I'm either going to have a small green day, $50 to $75, or I'm going to have a pretty nasty red day that before I even know it's going to happen, I'm going to want to recover from that. Even though I'm qualified for the payout, this happens to everyone, I'm going to want to try to recover that 120 because I don't like seeing red. So I'm going to trade more, even though my trades are losing. I'm going to try to trade more and get back that loss. Now all of a sudden my negative 24 turned into negative 124, turned into negative 200. And after that negative 200, the trades stop getting the same stop losses, don't they? If this sounds like how you guys are trading or how you have traded in the past, just know that everyone has gone through pretty much the same thing. Actually, everyone has gone through the same thing. That's the best way that you can avoid over trading is just thinking to yourself before you get into the trades, what's my risk reward? You do not have to be green on the day. I was up 55 on that trade right there. I could have easily closed it and gone green on the day. I would have been up 26. If I had re-entered that same trade, this is 10 points off of hitting a stop loss again. So I'd be down 100 on the day now, or 120. And now I'd be down, yeah, just would have gone and hit the stop loss. It is at 50% of the IB, which is good. Lined up right with London 50, so it could be a good entry. But same thing I've just been yapping about forever. We might very well get a loss on it today because of that 90%. I'd actually be kind of excited if it did. Not yet, gamer. I have to do it tomorrow. It was a bit risky today. Thankfully, it did play out well. However, I didn't think the MES was going higher as there was a huge wall at 70.10. Is that what we rejected off of? 7,006. Yeah. I request it tomorrow, gamer. Yeah, exactly. With NFP tomorrow, it's not a good day to trade either. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. If this was any other day and I wasn't qualified for a payout tomorrow, I probably would have been a lot more aggressive than I was. But given that we have NFP tomorrow, I also have this huge payout coming in tomorrow. Talked too much today. I wasn't really trading on that, or wasn't in the right mindset, I'd say. So nothing wrong with not taking a trade. That will do it for the stream today, everyone. I will see you all bright and early tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. For everyone in the YouTube portion, YouTube, X, Twitch, Facebook, Kick. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the stream, make sure to drop a thumbs up. I will be live same time tomorrow, 9 to 11. Peace out, everyone.